everybody. John Pynakker here with the Mojave Valley Daily News, and it is our Valley Voices. This Valley Voices is sponsored by Tri-State Wi-Fi. Tri-State Wi-Fi is your less expensive, more reliable alternative to your current internet provider. They provide you with high-speed internet service at an affordable price and are bringing high-speed internet service to all the residents who have been underserved for many years. Okay, my guest today, I don't really think that I need to introduce her, so I'm just going to say Autumn. It's Autumn.
There we go. It's Autumn.
It's Autumn, the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of the Colorado River. Welcome.
Indeed. Always good to see you.
Oh, strong. Still working out?
No.
Autumn deals with 1,600 kids on a daily basis between her 29 different clubs. Is that what you have now?
We have 4.5 right now.
4.5? All right, so here's what I got.
Okay.
Thrift store in Bullhead City by Tractor Supply.
Yes.
Thrift store in Fort Mojave next to O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
Bingo.
And now a thrift store in the Laughlin Mall.
Yes, number 3.
Is that the end of it? You got more?
Well, those are
Just
my
between
3
you and I.
stores. Yes.
Right. Oh, no,
yes.
I got a whole list of
Yeah.
things here. All right. Clubs. She has a club in Bullhead City. Mm-hmm. Club in Laughlin.
Yes.
You have a club in Fort Mojave, and we're going to get to the other part here soon.
Okay. All right.
And also has a teen center in the thrift store in Bullhead City as well.
Yes.
And Autumn is in the process of building a new club in Fort Mojave.
That's true, but there's more.
Did I miss one?
There's more. So we're also in the process of opening a teen center in Laughlin.
Really?
Attached to our new thrift store.
It's going to be in the mall there, too?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, right on.
Yeah.
Is that going to be your standard practice now? Is wherever you have a thrift store, you're going to put a teen center?
You know, it worked really well the first time.
Yeah.
So I think
Why mess with success?
Why mess with success? Yeah. I think from this, there were so many benefits that we didn't anticipate to having the thrift store attached to the teen center. For example, when you think of a teenager, what do you think of?
Video games.
Video games. I always think smelly feet, and that they are awkward and not friendly. Like was my initial before I started here. But
sounds like my teenage years. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just kind of awkward and misunderstood, and they don't really like adults. But having the teen center in the thrift store, as a customer, you walk in, you hear the giggles and the laughs.
Really?
And they're playing games because it's a shared space. Like, it's not a real wall. So all those sounds just go right over. And so I think the community has really kind of gotten a chance to see, per se, or hear really what we're doing.
Yeah.
And the thrift store staff is always like, they get the question all the time of, what's going on in there? And it's because you just hear the kids having a good time. And it's not an age group you hear having a good time.
Yeah, they usually want to be on their headphones and away from everybody else.
Yeah, sitting on the couch by himself. So
don't talk to me. Mom! Well, that's awesome. Good. Well, that's a good... When is that going to happen?
So that'll be open mid-December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're working on some magic.
Tell us about the new club in Fort Mojave. Where's it going to be?
Yes. Ooh, now that part I don't know if I can tell you.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I think I know.
I think a lot of people know. So I will say where it's going to be. But it's going to be on the corner of Aztec and La Requisa. So I think of it, you go to McDonald's and you turn. Because I drive by landmarks. So you go to McDonald's and you turn, and you're going to come to La Requisa, and there's this beautiful 8-acre flat spot. Which is where our future club will be. And
That's awesome.
The hope is to grow it into a campus very similar to Bullhead, where you have a gymnasium and you have a field and basketball, and really have the whole area where the kids can enjoy.
That's awesome. And that's a nice big spot right there, so that certainly should be. Who owns the property now?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. All right. But you're in the process. How far along are you in the process? Or cannot divulge?
It's a tricky question.
Okay.
It's a tricky question. I can say that the building plans, are in Mojave County's hands.
Okay.
And I'm not a contractor. It has not been given out to the contractors to bid.
You're not a contractor?
I know. That is not one of the hats I wear. So It hasn't gone out to bid. We're just waiting for Mojave County to do Mojave County is working with the engineer and the architect, and they're doing all that stuff that is
Behind the scenes stuff.
right over my head. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So, but you're pretty confident that that's going to be your spot.
Yes. We're working with the Legacy Foundation, and they've been very helpful in walking us through the whole process. So.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the Legacy Foundation, that's somebody that you need to know more about. They are
amazing.
They're very Nancy Monjo and Dr. Dahlman and the whole group over there, very concentrated on the community, similar to Autumn. And they do a lot of great things, donate a lot of money.
Yes.
Half the things that go on in this community for the kids could not have happened were it not for the Legacy Foundation.
You can't really look at a green space in Bullhead and not have the Legacy attached.
Yeah, really, that's for sure.
So.
We're going to talk about your event here in a second, and that's really why a lot of these things are happening, the events, the way that you raise money and all that. But I want to talk to you a little bit about, you got a pile of kids between all the clubs over there. How have you guys been dealing with COVID?
The big
Protocols.
The big
C.
The big
well,
C?
the second, it's a little C compared to the big C.
Well, that's true. That's true. So it has been wild because when
all right, and there you have it.
there you have it. It's been wild. When the schools closed, we opted to open. So we opened as a safe site, which meant that any kid who did not have access to internet, didn't have access to a supervised place to do distance learning, they were welcomed into the club to do distance learning.
Okay.
Which meant that we had 4 clubs that were open 10 and a half hours a day, 5 days a week, with everybody socially distanced, the mountains of hand sanitizers and all that. All the kids were required to wear masks, all the staffs were required to wear masks. It was absolutely insane.
A disaster.
It wasn't
Not a disaster.
It was great, and it really was what I think the kids needed from a social emotional standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
They had a place to go to connect. It wasn't school with 600 kids. It was a club with 50 kids, but at least they got
Still better than sitting in the kitchen on a computer.
Exactly.
And you feed the kids down there as well.
Yeah, they were getting breakfast and lunch, so it was crazy. My poor staff was so tired. And so burnout because you go from where we're doing STEM activities and kickball, and all of a sudden now you're tech support.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, the tech support was the roughest part. So yeah, but
that was funny. I was and I got it here. Were the numbers up or were the numbers down? Because I could see them going up because people still have to work.
Yep.
Or I could see them going down because I don't want my kids around other kids.
Right.
They need to be here and that. So
it was the timing of it was different. So normally our summers are our busiest times. So Bullhead in summer will have 250 kids a day, just at the Bullhead Club alone. With social distancing, we couldn't accommodate the same numbers that we used to. So our numbers were down in a sense. But then we had to get creative and find ways to space everything out and make more room because we were full. So like Teen Center was full. We didn't have any extra spots. So
yeah, I didn't think about that too.
Yeah.
The teen centers, that's difficult. So did you just sit down and put these? Grab a glass of wine and go, all right, what am I going to do here? How am I going to figure this out?
It was I'm really blessed to have an amazing team. And we all kind of sat down and said, okay, like in your space, how are we going to fit these kids? Where are we going to go? How are we going to make sure they stay socially distanced? And they all kind of came up with their own plan. And then we brought them all together and said, okay, let's poke holes and see what's not going to work.
Where we could have a problem.
Yeah. So, and they did it. They did a great job. I mean, other than ending up incredibly exhausted, because summer for us is, summer's great. It's like summer camp, but you get to send the kids home every night. And
so good.
Right? But it's usually 8 weeks of just intense, full days, 10 and a half hours a day. But then the end of summer, we celebrate the end of summer. And this year, summer never ended.
There's no end of summer.
It was just,
Monday.
Okay, here we go again. And we're like, oh my gosh. So.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, thank God that you were there to there's a lot of people that with schools and daycares and all that stuff closing, they had nothing to do with their kids, or
Oh, absolutely.
and I still have to work and that. So, all right, we are going to move on to why I asked you to come down here and why you're here. But first, I have to talk about our sponsor again, Tri-State Wi-Fi. Tri-State Wi-Fi has several plans for commercial or residential customers. Residential packages start at just $45 a month, and they offer speeds from 12 meg up to 50. There's no data cap or throttling of internet speeds. Packages are also available with symmetrical download and upload speeds for sharing large files or gaming. Surf the web with the fastest internet speeds available. Tri-State Wi-Fi is locally owned and operated, and as a member of this community, Tri-State Wi-Fi donates frequently back to its community. Currently, they serve many residential customers in the tri-state area from Bullhead City to Needles Bridge and even into Needles. Commercial accounts include the Bullhead City Government Center, all city parks, and the Mojave Valley Fort Mojave Community Park. So check them out. All right. I got like a blown up version.
Oh, mine's double-sided.
Oh. So is mine. All right, here's what we're here to see. I know Jeff wants me to put it on the table so I don't move it around. The 2020 River Rat Motorsports Desert Tromp.
Yes.
I just like saying the word Tromp.
Tromp, yes.
Yeah.
It's a good
Sounds
word.
Cool. It is a good word. You got a million sponsors on here, including see the Daily News down there.
Mojave Daily
I'm
News.
one of your sponsors.
You are.
All right, it's a 2-day event.
Yes.
The first day is a Jeep and truck fun run.
Yes. So this is our 6th year doing this. So Friday we do Jeeps and trucks. And we do that to give the Jeeps and trucks a chance to go on the course before it gets totally torn up by the side-by-sides. Because, Jeeps and trucks and side-by-sides like to go at different speeds.
Sure.
So we wanted to give them a different day to do that. And so there's a couple different stops where they play games and win prizes, and they come back and we feed them. And then we have some good music and a campfire.
Yeah, it's a camping thing too.
Yeah,
overnight,
absolutely.
right?
You go camping. You know what the most common question I get about this event is?
Can I have a camp spot near a porta potty?
No.
No?
No,
Oh,
not.
That's
no.
the one you hear in my house most often. What?
Is where in the world is this? Because it's very secretive.
Oh, yeah. It says 35 miles. It says dry camping, live music, weenie roast, s'mores, campfires, prizes, porta johns.
Yep.
So we got that going for us. Dumpsters, but it does not say. It says base camp, but apparently that's top secret.
It's top secret. So this is on I-40, exit number 2, which is called Needle Mountain Road.
Okay.
So technically, if there was an address,
It would
which
be
there's not,
exit 2, Needle Camp Road.
it would be considered in Topak.
Oh,
But it's really in between, like if you're driving from Topak to Havasu on the I-40, it's exit number 2. So you're kind of in the middle. And then we take the trails down towards Havasu, not all the way to Havasu, but towards Havasu. And so, yeah.
all drivable by truck and. Oh, so. All right, well, the trails that you're talking about are the actual the fun run.
Yes, the fun run. Yep, the fun run and then the poker run.
But if I'm driving down there with my truck and my 30-foot trailer, getting through any of the places before we stop and unload, and that is not a problem.
No, yeah, base camp is very accessible. Now, if you are not a comfortable driver, you might look at the road and go,
Oh, okay.
But it's very doable. But
If you're not a comfortable driver, you wouldn't be going on this thing anyway.
True. Yeah. But if you have a brand new motorhome, you might look at me and go, really? Because
Gosh, thanks, Autumn.
it does look a little, but I mean, literally, we'll end up with 75 rigs up there, so it's very
That's awesome.
doable.
Now everything is. I drove down there and everything is shaken out of all my cupboards and is all over the floors.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's this Friday,
Yes.
November 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Spooky. And then the next day is the off-road poker run, and that's side-by-sides and quads and all that.
Yes, 95% side by sides.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
It's more comfortable as well. So can you sign up? If you sign up for the whole thing.
So there's 2 separate events. There's the Friday run, and then
Right.
there's the Saturday poker run. So you don't necessarily sign up for both. If you want to, you can. But you can sign up on our website, which is Desert Tromp. deserttromp.com.
Deserttromp.com.
Super easy. And
Deserttromp.com.
is that your Vanna White move? I like it.
Ding, ding, ding.
But if you sign up, you don't have to camp. You can camp. Camping's an extra $10, which we pay straight to the BLM, to be honest. But so yeah, you can do all sorts of fun things. But we give away cash.
Yeah, $1,000 first prize, $500 second prize, $250 third prize. That's for the poker.
That's for the poker run portion. Yep.
Lucky poker chips, snacks, beverages, goodies. You have stops along the way that are sponsored by different. Is that some of them are these people?
Yes, our massive bookmark of sponsors.
My Vanna White again.
Yeah, do your Vanna White. Do your Vanna White move.
Advanced Animal Care, River Rock, Premier Executives, S&S Concrete, Murphy. There's a bunch on there.
There are.
A few.
Absolutely. Little Caesars. So, you know what? One of the things I absolutely love about this is how many of our sponsors have been repeat sponsors.
Yeah.
You know, that to me, as an event planner, always makes me feel good. Like I'm doing something right.
Yeah, they got something out of it last year.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So yeah, this is going to be the biggest one ever. We already have over 190 vehicles signed up, which is really big.
And then usually the last few days when people know what the weather's going to be and if they're free and all that, that's when it gets busy.
Yes, yes. So I might be a little nervous, maybe just a little bit.
You don't seem nervous. It's not your first rodeo. So you got, so this is going to actually air on Thursday this week instead of Friday because we want to be able to get her some stuff, some signups. So Thursday people, how long are you taking signups till?
Great question.
Thank you. I thought of it all myself.
Online registration has already ended.
Okay.
But you can still register at the event, and I'm going to be there starting Wednesday, really. But we'll be there taking signups all day Thursday and all day Friday.
Okay, so when you see this, wait until the very end of it because we still got to tell you about the rest of another thing for our sponsor. But then run over to Exit 2 off of I-40, find Autumn, and sign up out there.
Absolutely.
Well, how much does it cost?
So day of registrations are $100 for the poker run, and that includes one vehicle, which however many bodies you want to cram into your vehicle is fine.
Okay.
And then it includes 2 lunches, 1 poker hand, and 1 t-shirt.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And you can bring the dog.
We are very dog friendly. All of our poker stops have dog bowls and dog treats.
Really? Mm-hmm. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. And you got live music. Can
Yes.
you tell us who's playing?
Absolutely. So we have Black Cat X.
I know him well. You just played Cornfest.
Absolutely. No,
Paul Lavoie.
Yes, Paul Lavoie. They come out there. They bring all the lights, the whole setup. It's set up on a big stage, which is a big flatbed because we're in the middle of the desert. They
You
rock
remember
it.
from our old Cornfest days, all the stages were big flatbeds anyway.
Absolutely. And it is something so unique to be literally in the middle of nowhere, sitting by a campfire watching live bands.
Yeah.
It is such a special treat.
That sounds amazing. Out in the
Yes.
middle of the desert, having s'mores, maybe some adult beverages.
It's BYOB, so I'm not going to gouge you for beer sales.
See?
See?
Just gets better and better. Well, thank you very much. It's obviously the things that Autumn's doing over there at the Boys and Girls Club with the thrift stores and the opening up more and more facilities to take care of our young people in the community. The money raised from this and other events that she does, that's where that comes from. So thank
Very,
you
very
much.
lucky to have an amazing team. It is certainly not a one-woman show, but
That's not what I heard.
thank you so much for having me.
Thanks
I
for
really
being here,
appreciate it.
Autumn. Tri-State Wi-Fi is our sponsor, Valley Voices. They're here to serve you. The owner is a member of your community, not a corporation, and they get back to the community accordingly. They are currently looking to increase their staffing, so if you're looking for a long-term position as a technician or computer installer, or if you're looking to change your internet service provider, contact them today at 928-763-3446, or you can just send your resume into info@cvvoices.com. as in computer, shop, az.com.
You got it. Good
Thank
job.
you, Autumn.
Thank you. I appreciate it.